Hello viewers, and welcome to this channel. Today we'll be discussing about PPE being the last resort in protection against hazardous conditions. So we all know what PPE does. I mean, it gives us protection. If you consider a construction site or many industries, PPE are commonly used. Why? Because they provide some form of protection when we perform work activities. However, PPEs should always be the last resort when we design the workplace or when we perform work activities, because the more we can take away PPE, the better for us. If you recall the hierarchy of controls, you realize that it is the least effective when it comes to controls. There are other most effective controls, such as eliminating the hazard entirely or substituting with a less hazardous ones, the use of the use of engineering controls or even administrative controls. So PPE has always been the least effective, and we shouldn't be fast to always prescribe PPE as a solution when it comes to protection against hazardous workplace conditions. We can also talk about the limitations of movement. Sometimes when you wear PPE, it creates some restriction with respect to your movement. They are uncomfortable, and because of this uncomfortable nature of them, that could become another hazard that could lead to an incident or increases the chances of an incident occurring. Then, of course, PPE are not cheap, especially the good ones are quite expensive. And some of them also you have to maintain them because they are not just disposable. So that can also be expensive. PPE, instead of using PPE, why don't we also focus on taking away the hazard entirely? For instance, if it is noise that is the hazardous condition that you're wearing some form of hearing protectors to protect workers against, why don't you focus on taking away the noise or reducing it to a level that workers can work without any form of hearing protectors? Remember, if the noise level is less than 85 decibel, then workers don't need any form of hearing protectors because noise is always around us. Even in your bedroom, whilst you are sleeping midnight, there is still some form of noise. It's just that the noise level is low. Now, when should we focus on the use of PPE? We can go for PPE when other effective measures like using engineering controls or elimination have been explored but not feasible. Okay, then we can say that PPE is the only option that we've got. Okay, we can also look at the use of PPE whilst other effective control measures are being developed or installed. So whilst we wait for other effective measures to be available, we can implement the use of PPE. And once that happens, PPE may not be required. Last but not the least, we could also use PPE as a backup. Okay, let's say, for example, in a very noisy environment, we've been able to use engineering controls to isolate the noise to some level. Okay, and then we've also been able to use administrative controls such as rotation of workers into the noise area, and then also the use of signages to warn people against the noise level in addition to the PPE. So that way it serves as a backup and not the main protection against the hazardous condition. So consider these tips in your workplace, especially at the design phase, it's very important to look at activities or the plan in such a way that you can design out most PPE. That is not to say that PPE is not important. Definitely, there are some work activities we cannot do without PPE, especially in the construction site. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And if you find this video useful, please share and don't forget to subscribe.